Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Mr. Mayor. It's a pleasure to be here, my first time in Yilan, and I hope it won't be my last time in Yilan. Thank you very much to Dr. Lee for kindly inviting me today. Luke asked me to talk a little bit about myself and the company I work for and the journey that I've had with Pernod Ricard. He also asked me to talk about our marketing and branding philosophy. He then asked me to talk about some of the different cities that I've lived in and my perceptions of those cities, their good and bad traits, and then to finish off with some comments about living as a foreigner in Taiwan. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me start by introducing myself. So my name is Tim. I work for a company called Pernod Ricard Taiwan, and I'll explain a little bit more about Pernod Ricard in a few moments. I'm Australian. I was born and educated in a little town called Adelaide, the capital of South Australia. I subsequently lived in Melbourne and Sydney in Australia. I've also lived in New York and Paris and now in Taipei. I have a marketing background, a Bachelor of Business majoring in marketing. I have worked in marketing related areas for most of my working life, including 22 years with Pernod Ricard in Australia, in the US, in France, and now in Taiwan, in a whole range of different roles in marketing, in sales, in commercial, in strategy, in acquisitions. I was in charge of acquiring and selling companies at one stage, which was fascinating, and now in a general management position. Pernod Ricard is actually a French company. It's based in Paris. It is the two former French family-owned companies, the Ricard company and the Pernod company, merged together in 1975, so we could say we're 37 years old, but in fact those companies date back respectively to 1805 for the Pernod family's company and 1932 for the Ricard company. So there's a lot of history and heritage behind our French founding companies. Today, Pernod Ricard is the equal leader in the world of spirits and wine. So I'm talking about alcoholic beverages, not the Miju that we saw a few moments ago. And we don't own any beer, but in terms of spirits and wine, I'll show you a few examples in a moment. We have the world's most comprehensive portfolio of brands. Around the world, we are a tenth the size of our core, only 18,000 people compared to Christoph's 180,000 people. But we operate in 70 countries, including Taiwan. We have more than 100 distilleries and wineries around the world. We're a public company. We're listed on the Paris Stock Exchange, headquarters in Paris. I had the privilege to work there for 6 years. And today the company is worth around 20 billion euros. So it's a very valuable company, a very large company. I said that we're a brand company. In fact, our prestigious brands are at the centre of our strategy. We have brands in lots of different categories. The main one here in Taiwan is whiskey. So we own the brands like Royal Salute, Ballentine's, Glenlivet, Chivas Regal. We own the world's biggest selling cognac, Martell. We own the world's biggest selling vodka, Absolut Vodka. We own Beefeater Gin. We own a range of liqueurs. We own some fabulous French champagne brands such as Perrier-Jouet. And we own an Australian wine that's very dear to my heart called Jacob's Creek. So we have an extensive Here in Taiwan, we have about 100 employees across all of the disciplines: sales, marketing, finance, information technology, human resources, etc., etc. Plus we have a range of promoters and merchandisers that work with our retail and restaurant and nightclub customers. Our head office is in Taipei. We have regional sales offices in Taoyuan, in Taichung and Kaohsiung. So we cover the whole island. We are the #1 spirits and wine company in Taiwan. Interesting, maybe you're not aware, but the Taiwanese market is predominantly a whiskey market. Whiskey represents more than 80% of all the international spirits sold. We have a comprehensive range of whiskey, mostly Scotch whiskey. We also have vodka, we also have cognac, we also have other products. So we represent all the main categories of wines and spirits in this country. What's our marketing philosophy? Because we have a lot of brands, a lot of different brands from a lot of different countries. Well, we start with the brand's heritage, their authenticity, their quality and product credentials. And I'm going to show a few examples of our brand marketing activities in a moment. But our business starts with the authenticity and quality of the product we offer. We then spend a lot of time developing brand strategy based on the unique characteristics of each brand. We talk about the aka, the unique, compelling, competitive advantage that each brand has in its respective category. And before we talk category, we need to know how each category behaves. Scotch whisky behaves very differently to vodka, to gin. Consumers are very different. Our target audience for Scotch whisky is a little different to our target audience for vodka, to our target audience for wine and champagne. We spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money on market research to better understand our consumers, consumer trends, to understand our competitor brands as well, so we can develop our brand strategies. We also spend a lot of time dealing with our different customers. Our hypermarket customers are different to our liquor store customers, are different to our Chinese restaurant customers, are different to our Western style restaurant customers, different to nightclubs, KTV bars, etc. We sell our products to a very broad range of different channels, and there are different trade marketing requirements in each of those channels. And at the end of the day, for us, it's about making a strong connection with consumers. We talk about 360-degree activities focused on advertising or sponsorship or public relations or tasting and sampling, mentoring programs, promotions. We're now very much involved in digital technology, the internet, websites, point of sale, purchase materials, visibility, etc. Some examples for a couple of our key brands. So if we take Glenlivet, the Glenlivet, you can see that this is the 360-degree marketing activities that I talk about. We advertise Glenlivet on television. We advertise Glenlivet in large poster formats out of home. This is an example on a major building in Taichung. We advertise the Glenlivet in a number of different magazines and newspapers. We have our own Glenlivet website and a group of Glenlivet crusaders here in Taiwan. In fact, we have more than 30,000 members of the Glenlivet Crusader website. We do a lot of education and mentoring. We do public relations activity. We advertise the Glenlivet in a national network of television system in KTV outlets and so forth. I thought I might show, if it works, a couple of Glenlivet television commercials.
这是乔治，一心打造格兰利威单一风味。这也是乔治，一意钟爱格兰利威无二口感。当乔治国王签下了这张单一无二的合法执照，格兰利威自此定义了当今单一纯麦的风味，为单一纯麦立威。格兰利威，单一无二。
And there's a second Glenlivet television commercial.
200年前，利威河谷蕴藏得天独厚的万水之源，孕育 再以古苏格兰巨擘工艺淬炼单一无二的生命之水，连乔治国王都为之惊艳，签下格兰利威区第一张合法执照，为单一纯麦立威，为无二口感传承。格兰利威，单一无二。
Glenlivet television advertising has a certain style, mood and manner that is very much unique to the Glenlivet, but we focus on authenticity. We focus on the founder, George Smith. We focus on the first license granted in the parish of Glenlivet in 1824. So it's very unique and distinctive advertising. Here's the 360-degree marketing activity for a very premium, very famous brand in Taiwan called Royal Salute. And again, we advertise Royal Salute, but much more in luxury print media than in outdoor and television. We launch new limited edition products around Glenlivet for key gift-giving times of the year. We have specific customer relationship management programs for high net worth individuals around the Glenlivet. We have a website. We do selective premium visibility in store windows and in liquor stores. We produce locally in Taiwan gift packs for the Mid-Autumn Festival and for Chinese New Year, and we do some very specific cooperative marketing. This time it was with the Diamond Service Centre, diamond rings and diamond cufflinks. So quite a different marketing program for the Glenlivet versus for Royal Salute versus the Glenlivet. And the third example is Ballentine's. We already saw Christoph, the winner of the Ballentine's Championship Pro-Am last year. We're very much involved in golf with Ballentine's. We have golf television advertising. We have our own Ballentine's Taiwan Championship every year in August, which is in association with the Asia Development Tour. We do print advertising. We focus on the fact that a comprehensive range of aged whiskies, 8-year-old, 12-year-old, 17-year-old, 21-year-old and 30-year-old whiskey, and other activities in the on-trade. So again, a slightly different marketing mix of activities for Ballentine's compared with the other brands. Now, a change of pace. Luke asked me to talk about the cities where I have lived. So I tried to group them under different headings. So I recently lived in a beautiful city called Sydney, the harbour city, very famous for the Sydney Opera House, the Sydney Harbour Bridge, beautiful views of the harbour from restaurants. The downtown area is quite close to the harbour. So Sydney is known to me as the harbour city, but it's also a wonderful lifestyle city. Beautiful beaches, fantastic surfing, beaches all the way up and down the coast, and because of the water nearby, the harbour and the ocean, fantastic water sports. Fabulous wine and food, beautiful gardens, lots of sporting activities, famous art galleries and cultural attractions. So Sydney is not just a harbour city to me, it's also a city of great lifestyle. About 20 years ago, I lived in New York. I lived in New York for 3 years. I was very lucky. At that time, I was just a young man, and for me, New York was the city that never sleeps. This is Times Square and Broadway, nightclubs, the New York Marathon, skating in Central Park, yellow cabs, the crowds in New York. New York is a city of amazing energy, a city that is open 24 hours a day. It's also very famous for being the finance capital of the world. So this is Wall Street, the New York Stock Exchange, lots of skyscrapers, the home, the world headquarters of many large banks, lots of deals done in New York, lots of power meetings and power lunches. These are traders on the New York Stock Exchange. There's no doubt in my mind that New York is the money capital or the finance capital of the world. But it's also the shopping capital of the world. So this is Fifth Avenue, some of the famous brands on Fifth Avenue, Bloomingdale's, Barney's, Saks Fifth Avenue, fashion shows. It's one of the fashion and shopping capitals of the world. So New York has, for me, a different image and a different perception than Sydney has. I was also very fortunate to live in Paris. Perhaps I should ask Christophe to talk about France, but it doesn't sound like he lived there very often in his life. I lived in Paris for 6 years. It's a beautiful city. For me, it's a city of culture. This is the famous art gallery museum, the Louvre, and the pyramid outside the Louvre. This is looks like the Luxembourg Gardens, the Opera Garnier in Paris, the amazing ceiling painted by Marc Chagall. It's a city of amazing culture and food, and the art of living was created in Paris. It's also a beautiful city, beautiful gardens. In fact, they say this is the most beautiful street in the world, the Avenue des Champs-Élysées. This is the garden. This is the Luxembourg Gardens here. This is a nearby palace, the Élysée Palace. I thought I had a shot of the Versailles Palace. I can't remember. The River Seine flowing through the city of Paris makes it all the more beautiful, both during the day and at night. And Paris is also a city of wonderful architecture, the Arc de Triomphe, La Défense, Notre Dame, La Tour Eiffel. There's some amazing architecture in Paris, some amazing history and architecture. So 3 very different experiences for me. Sydney about lifestyle, New York about energy, Paris about culture and beauty. What about Taiwan? Well, for me, I've been traveling the world for 20-something years. I've been to most countries in Asia, and until I had never set foot inside Taiwan. For me, Taiwan is a hidden gem. It's not on the tourist trail, and I think that's a great advantage, but also a great opportunity. When people come to Asia, they'll go to Hong Kong or Singapore, now probably the major cities in mainland China like Shanghai or Beijing, Tokyo of course, but not so much to Taipei and not so much to Taiwan. So in my opinion, that presents a wonderful opportunity. It's a country of, for me at least, a country of great contrast. You have one of the tallest buildings in the world, a magnificent structure, together with some very historic sites and older communities living alongside very modern shopping centres and very modern structures. A country of lots of natural beauty. I was trying to show here sunshine and rain, or sunshine and typhoons. For me, again, that's an example of the contrast in weather that we experience in many parts of Taiwan. It's also a country of fantastic food and wonderful food experiences, and I wanted to show the night market experience and different restaurant experiences. Someone told me before I came here that Taiwan has the best food in Asia, and I had never been here, so I wasn't sure whether to believe them. Having lived here now for 2 years, I'm convinced that Taiwan has the best food in Asia. Wonderful, fresh, flavourful food across a lot of different varieties, lots of fresh seafood, lots of different style, vegetables, soup, etc. It's a country of fantastic food. I think unknown to many people, the breadth and depth of food and the quality of food available in Taiwan. Also, you're very friendly people. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that every foreigner is welcome in Taiwan. These are a couple of photographs. In fact, these are some of my team. This was our Wei-Ya party a couple of years ago. This was a Scottish themed whiskey night we had. So these are some photographs of my team and on a bus tour. Taiwanese are extremely welcoming, friendly, respectful, humble people, and I think that's a great strength and a really a strength that you must take advantage on when you're promoting yourself to foreign visitors. So, to sum up, what are the key advantages? What can I say about Taiwan that provides points of difference and competitive advantages versus other parts of Asia? Well, I think, in no particular order, it's the people, the quality and the friendliness of people, of Taiwanese people. It's the lifestyle. You have a fantastic island with wonderful attractions, wonderful natural beauty, history and modernity. It's a wonderful lifestyle. I've said food, I've said a little bit about food. I think you have fabulous food. You also have a wonderful culture, a mix of cultures from different regions in mainland China with the original Taiwanese culture. It's a fantastic blend of culture, which is a real attraction for visitors. And there are a number of other historical and natural attractions in Taiwan. Not just 101 and shopping, but I think there's a lot of other things to do in Taiwan. So I hope that gives you some ideas about my life around. My recent life in Taiwan, and once again, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak today. I appreciate it. Thank you.